Now at 6:30, you are watching live continuing coverage of the blizzard of 2026 as we take a live look outside at Plymouth. And this is an area that has received roughly 30 inches of snow. And it has led to wild sights across the state, not just along the coast, but we go to Duxbury and take a look at this. You're looking at video of wind gusts. Ooh. Did you see that? That large tree branch that came down, it barely missed those cars in the driveway there. But these moments can happen at any point in time.
Yeah. Keeping you safe, informed, connected. This is News Channel 5 at 6.
It all started just before Christmas. A house caught fire in Columbia's Taylor Landing neighborhood. A fire investigators confirmed began in the attic with the home's HVAC unit. That investigation revealed that final electrical inspections were missing, putting that neighborhood's homes and its residents at risk. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday at 6. I'm Rory Johnston.
And I'm Amanda Roberts, in for Carrie this evening.
Tonight, we're hearing from the family of the man at the center of the mass stabbing near Gig Harbor. Everything we're learning about that case coming up. Plus, we're continuing our coverage of the Spokane Allergy and Asthma Clinic abruptly closing. What patients are doing tonight.
And we're taking you outside where the sun poked out at the end of the day. We're talking more of that sunshine as we head into the weekend.
Good evening, I'm Sydney Schofield. Thank you for joining us here for KREM 2 for the only local news and weather at 5:30 p.m. in the inland Northwest.
Severe thunderstorms and tornadoes tore through the valley, and WTWO was there tracking the storm.
I'd been watching W2 all evening, and they made a report of a house that was destroyed.
The WTWO weather team provided updates online, TV, and WTWO Plus for your streaming devices, keeping you informed when it matters most. Trust the only local weather team in the valley to keep you safe and alert. Your local weather authority, WTWO.
All right, our breaking news continues on MS Now. Earlier this morning, Eastern Time, the United States and Israel launched a major military attack on Iran, striking dozens of targets across the country, including in the capital of Tehran. You can see the strikes on that screen. They have been reported near the president's residence, and extensive damage has also been reported at the Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's compound. Khamenei has not been seen this morning. However, he's not been seen publicly for weeks. His current whereabouts are unknown.
This is CBS News, New York.
A short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran.
Breaking news overnight, the U.S. and Israel launching a major attack on targets across Iran. This as President Trump says Iran has continued to develop its nuclear program despite previous U.S. strikes and negotiated efforts to stop it. Good morning, everybody, on this Saturday, February 28th. I'm Doug Williams.
And I'm Aziza Shuler. Welcome to CBS News New York. We'll check in on the weather in just a moment, but we begin with that breaking news. President Trump announcing the, quote, major combat operations in Iran.
John Diaz joining us live in studio this morning with all the latest details on this attack. John.
Straight ahead on News Channel 5 this morning, Israel attacked Iran, and we're learning the U.S. was involved in the strikes. We're following those breaking details. And a cold case no longer. How a clue in a confession solved a murder that shocked the town of Bowling Green 30 years ago. Plus, a chance to say goodbye to civil rights icon Jesse Jackson. More on his funeral procession that's making a stop in Nashville today.
This is News Channel 5 this morning. Now with breaking news.
Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people.
Now, Israel, along with U.S. forces, carried out an attack against Iran this morning. Good morning, I'm Tony Sloan. You just heard from President Trump on some of his reasons for such an attack. But this comes at a time where nuclear talks between the U.S. and Iran were not headed in a great direction.
Day that Israel and America attacked Iran. Strikes in Tehran and right across the country. The Iranian Red Crescent says more than 200 people are dead, with more blasts reported this evening. The Iranians hit back, retaliating with a series of strikes across the region, also hitting Bahrain. Thousands are now caught up in the violence, including tourists across the Middle East. This was the scene in Dubai a little earlier after an Iranian strike on the Palm Hotel. And these are live pictures from here in Tel Aviv, where a state of emergency has been declared across Israel. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says there are signs the Iranian supreme leader is gone.
Today, in a very powerful surprise attack, we managed to destroy the compound of the tyrant Khamenei. All indications show that this tyrant is no longer with us as well.
Donald Trump said earlier that major combat operations were underway, and he had this message for the Iranian people.
When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take.
Hello to you. We're keeping an eye on Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence.
Breaking news, Donald Trump has said that the supreme leader of Iran, Ali Khamenei, is dead. He has posted the following on Truth Social. Khamenei, one of the most evil people in history, is dead, says the president.
Welcome to ILTV's live broadcast. It is 6:30 p.m. here in Israel. Let's get started with all of the latest updates on this very dramatic and historic day. I'm Lidar Lazi. I'm reporting to you from the bomb shelter because we have been experiencing non-stop sirens here in Israel for the past several hours. So let's get started with the top headlines. Of course, the United States and Israel announced this morning that they started the attack on the Islamic regime of Iran.
The US and Israel attack Iran, and Tehran retaliates, firing missiles at Israeli targets and US assets in the region. It follows a massive military build-up by Washington and indirect talks between the US and Iran over its nuclear program. So how dangerous is the situation? This is Inside Story. Hello again, I'm James Bays. Israel and the US have unleashed attacks on Iran less than a day after indirect negotiations over Iran's nuclear program had wrapped up in Geneva. Upbeat optimism expressed by the Omani mediators of the talks was short-lived. Just hours later, US President Donald Trump announced that major combat operations were underway.
Now at 6, Iran's supreme leader killed after the U.S. and Israel launched pre-dawn strikes on the country. Protests erupting across our area tonight. That is where we will begin. Thank you for being with us. I'm Rana Novini. Following that initial attack in Iran, Iran launched retaliatory strikes against Israel, targeting U.S. military bases. And tonight, the NYPD is stepping up enforcement all across the city to help keep people safe. We have a team of reporters covering this story tonight. We're going to start with News 4's Jonathan Dienst, live in the newsroom with the latest. Jonathan.
Tonight, America attacks Iran. President Trump announcing its supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, has been killed as Iran retaliates across the region.
The U.S. launching strikes with Israel earlier today, targeting Iran's top leaders.
New images of the Ayatollah's compound decimated. The country's supreme leader now believed to be dead.
Other attacks inflicted very great losses on their leadership.
Iran firing back against its neighbors, hitting this high-rise in Bahrain.
Oh my God.
A drone blasting down in Dubai. An intercepted missile crashing near crowds. This explosion near a U.S. Navy base. And Tel Aviv coming under attack. Hotels for Western tourists and airports hit across the region. We're getting our first look at the damage inside of Iran.
This is the moment for action.
President Trump addressing the nation in the early morning hours, laying out the mission's objectives.
They will never have a nuclear weapon.
Iran's foreign minister speaking out to NBC News.
There is no limit for us to defend ourselves.
But what happens now that the Ayatollah is dead? What President Trump just told our Kristen Welker about the timeline for the mission. And the growing questions, what is the end game? How involved will the U.S. be? Our correspondents spread out across the region tonight as America's attacks on Iran may only be getting started.
This is a special edition of NBC Nightly News. The U.S. strikes Iran. Here is Tom Yamas.
And good evening. We begin tonight with what could be the most consequential action President Trump has ever taken. The commander-in-chief saying Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei was killed in U.S. and Israeli strikes across Iran today. This is the aftermath. The Ayatollah's compound, you see it there, seemingly leveled. Many of the country's top leaders were also taken out, according to President Trump. That action, killing a head of state, a seismic shift in strategy with untold consequences inside Iran.
Tonight, the breaking news as we come on the air, the U.S. and Israeli attack on Iran. And late today, President Trump confirming Iran's supreme leader is dead. The U.S. and Israel launching a wide-scale assault in broad daylight. Airstrikes targeting Tehran, including the supreme leader's compound and multiple other sites. From Iran tonight, reports of a girls' school being hit. Tonight, President Trump claiming, quote, a lot of the leadership is largely gone. Telling our Rachel Scott we believe the supreme leader is dead and that much of their leaders are gone. Not only from that one site, but from two other sites the U.S. attacked. The president telling ABC News, quote, much of their important areas, militarily and otherwise, have been absolutely destroyed. Smoke and flames rising from the Capitol tonight. Iranian state TV reporting more than 200 killed, hundreds wounded. And President Trump's stark warning to the American people once the attack was underway.
The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties. That often happens in war.
The president tonight now calling on the Iranian people to seize control of their government. Iran retaliating against the U.S., Israel, and multiple Arab nations. A missile hitting near the U.S. Navy base in Bahrain. What we're now learning about the size of the operation following a massive U.S. military buildup across the region. The U.S. forces involved, and what is the mission's end goal? And when Rachel asked the president about who leads Iran next, he said, I don't want to explain. We have a very beautiful plan. Ian Pannell live in the region tonight, Martha Raddatz live in Washington, and Rachel Scott live right here on her conversation with the president. Also, President Trump vowing the massive campaign will devastate Iran's military and nuclear program. Tonight, back in the U.S., lawmakers from both parties questioning the U.S. military attack without congressional approval. Mary Roos live at the White House. Across the U.S. tonight, police on heightened alert. The concerns about possible retaliatory attacks. Police deployed to churches, synagogues, and train stations. Aaron Katersky and Pierre Thomas both standing by tonight. And Iran's warning tonight to oil tankers sailing through the Strait of Hormuz. Roughly 20% of the world's oil passing through. What this could mean for oil and gas prices in the U.S. So tonight here, how long will this operation last? What the president told ABC News about that. A special edition of World News Tonight begins now.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening on this Saturday night. We do begin tonight with the U.S.-Israeli attack on Iran. A short time ago, President Trump confirming Iran's supreme leader is dead, calling him one of the most evil people in history. President Trump urging the Iranian people to take control over their government now. The images coming in for hours now. The U.S. and Israel launching a joint assault on at least 9 cities in Iran. The U.S. launching fighter jets, missiles, and drones after a massive U.S. military buildup across the region. Smoke and flames across Tehran tonight, airstrikes hitting multiple targets, including the Supreme Leader's compound. Iran also claiming a girls' school was hit. The U.S. investigating those claims tonight. The 86-year-old Ayatollah Ali Khamenei served as Supreme Leader since 1989, the leader of Iran for 35 years. In Iran tonight, the Supreme National Security Council warning the, quote, shameless Americans will regret their actions. Iran retaliating against the U.S., Israel, and multiple Arab nations. An Iranian missile hitting near the U.S. Navy base in Bahrain. An Iranian drone striking a hotel in Dubai, a large fire burning at the entrance. The United Arab Emirates reporting one person was killed by falling debris.
Good to be with you. I'm Tony DeCopel. The major breaking news right now. The United States at war tonight. The U.S. and Israel have attacked Iran, a massive ongoing strike, killing Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, along with several top Iranian officials. President Trump tonight explaining the mission in his own words.
This regime will soon learn that no one should challenge the strength and might of the United States Armed Forces.
Also breaking tonight, Iran launching retaliatory missile strikes across the Mideast at this hour, aiming at U.S. military bases in the region and setting fire to one of Dubai's luxury hotels. How long will this last? How wide will it go? And the reactions developing all over the world tonight, the protests and celebrations. Along with the fear of what could happen next, New York City on high alert tonight, the NYPD increasing security at sensitive sites. The risks tonight at home and abroad.
This is a special edition of the CBS Evening News with Tony DeCopel.
Good evening, and here we are. Weeks of failed diplomacy have exploded into full-blown war with Iran tonight, a massive ongoing operation, in the words of President Trump. And the president's goal now is as obvious as the smoke over Tehran today: to end the Iranian regime, what the president described today as a wicked, radical dictatorship that has long threatened America and its allies. Here's what we know at this hour. This has been a large-scale attack launched this morning by the U.S. and Israel, and among the many targets, the country's supreme leader himself, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. And tonight, President Trump says that attack has been successful. The Ayatollah is dead. And that is perhaps the biggest news today. The longest reigning leader in the Middle East is gone, and there is now no telling what follows.
First alert weather and live local coverage. This is News 10.
That is video of locals in Tehran celebrating after reports that the supreme leader Ali Khamenei was killed in strikes this morning from the U.S. and Israel. We start with breaking news at 11. Iranian state media now confirming Khamenei is dead. Around 1:15 this morning, the U.S. and Israel launched missile strikes against Iran. President Donald Trump said the military operation, dubbed Epic Fury, targeted missile sites and naval capabilities.
11.
New at 11, a mother demanding justice after her daughter suffers a terrifying assault by 3 young boys. It's a story that you'll only see right here on Local 10.
Iran's supreme leader killed in coordinated strikes by the U.S. and in conjunction with Israel. And a second night of strikes is currently underway.
A show of support for the president in Miami today. A Cuban caravan through the streets as these people hope regime change in their homeland is next.
A local woman takes her very first steps in Fort Lauderdale, right there on the beach, after 21 years of being paralyzed. How she found her medical miracle. Good evening, South Florida. I'm JC Birch.
I'm Stanella Sabovic. Local 10 News at 11 starts right now.
The one and only Local 10 News starts right now.
All new at 11.